I needed to get away. The city had been grinding me down, endless emails, honking traffic, deadlines that felt like nooses. It was suffocating. So I packed my gear, threw my old Subaru in a drive, and headed for a place where the world couldn't follow. Northern Arizona, deep in Navajo country. A forgotten trailhead, marked by a rusted sign, half swallowed by weeds. The kind of place where solitude isn't just possible, it's absolute. Or so I thought. The trail was barely a path, more like a deer track weaving through towering ponderosa pines and junipers. The air was sharp with resin, cool against my skin. For the first half hour, it was perfect. My shoulders loosened, the city's weight slipping away with every step. The birds chattered, the breeze whispered, and I felt free. But then something changed. The forest went quiet. Not just calm, silent. The kind of silence that presses against your ears, makes your own breathing sound like an intrusion. I told myself it was nothing, just my city nerves overreacting. But the hairs on my neck stood up, and I couldn't shake the feeling of eyes on me. Watching, waiting to, I kept moving, faster now, my boots crunching louder than I liked. The trail was still clear but off. Twigs lined the path in strange patterns, triangles, almost deliberate. Then I saw the trees. Deep gouges in the bark, long and parallel, too high for a bear, too precise for claws. I touched one, and my fingers came away sticky with sap. My stomach twisted by mid-afternoon. I reached where my map said the campsite should be. But there was no clearing, just a wall of tangled roots and branches, like the forest was barring my way. I checked the map again. The coordinates were right, but this wasn't. I backtracked, thinking I'd missed a turn. But when I turned around, the path had changed. The pines I'd passed were closer together, the trail narrower, like the forest had rearranged itself behind me. "You're just tired," I whispered to myself, my voice sounding too loud in the stillness. "You're seeing things." But I wasn't. I made camp anyway, hacking out a small space among the roots. The fire I built crackled, its light pushing back the shadows. But the silence, it was heavier now, like a weight on my chest. I crawled in my tent, zipped it shut, and tried to sleep that I don't know what time it was when I woke. My eyes snapped open, heart pounding. Something was outside my tent. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, barefoot on pine needles. They circled, never rushing, never stopping. I held my breath, every muscle locked tight. Then, a sound, soft, like an exhale, right against the tent's fabric. Like something was sniffing, fear clawed at my gut, sharp and cold. I grabbed my flashlight, hands shaking, and unzipped the tent just enough to peer out. I flicked the beam on, sweeping it across the clearing. Nothing, just trees and shadows. Then I angled the light down. Footprints, long, narrow, with toes that weren't quite human. They circled my tent, fresh in the dry soil that I didn't sleep again. I sat there, clutching my .45, listening for any sound, any sign. The silence was worse than the footsteps. It felt alive, like the forest itself was holding its breath, waiting for me to make a move. When dawn broke, pale and cold, I packed up fast, eyes darting to every shadow. The footprints were still there, circling endlessly. I headed downhill, toward a creek I'd seen the day before. I thought it might lead to a road, a way out. But the forest had other plans. The creek twisted, looped back on itself, and after hours of walking, I was back at my campsite. The same tangled roots, the same gouged trees. My map was useless. My GPS flickered, coordinates jumping like it was possessed. Panic clawed at me, but I pushed it down. I kept moving, picking a new direction, any direction. That's when I saw her. A figure, just for a moment, between the trees. Thin, pale, with tangled hair and clothes that hung like rags. She didn't move toward me, just watched, her eyes catching the dim light like a predator's. That I called out, my voice cracking. "Hey, are you okay?" Nothing, just silence. I turned and walked faster, pretending I hadn't seen her. But I heard it, soft footsteps, keeping pace, weaving through the trees. I checked my phone, angling the screen like a mirror. There she was, 30 feet back, moving like a shadow, eyes locked on me that I didn't run. Not yet. Running felt like admitting I was prey, but my hand hovered near the .45, my heart slamming against my ribs. The trail narrowed, choked by a fallen tree. I jumped it, my breath ragged, tasting copper. Behind me, the footsteps grew sharper, desperate. Sticks snapped, leaves rustled like she was closing the gap. Enough. I yanked the .45 free and fired 2 shots into the air. Sound of 2 loud gunshots, echoing sharply. The forest froze. The footsteps stopped. Then a rush of movement, her sprinting away, hair flying, moving too fast, too wild, like something not quite human. I caught a glimpse of her face, pale, hollow, eyes wide with something I couldn't name that I didn't wait. I climbed fast toward where I'd parked. The trail stretched on, longer than it should have. Every bend felt wrong, every shadow too deep. I kept my head down, refusing to look back, telling myself she was gone. But the silence followed me, thick and heavy, like the forest was watching, judging. When I finally saw my Subaru, it felt like a mirage. I threw my gear in, locked the doors, and sat there, hands shaking on the wheel. The engine roared to life, and I drove, the hum of the tires my only company. No music, no radio, just the image of her face burned into my mind. Those eyes, not angry, not scared, hungry. When I got home, I called Tyler, the friend who'd sent me to that trail. His voice was light, carefree. "Yo, how was it? Catch anything good?" I swallowed, my throat raw. "Tyler, you said no forks, right? Just a straight trail." He laughed, then paused. "Yeah, man, dead straight. No forks. Why, you get turned around." I hung up, my skin cold. The fork I'd taken, the path that led me to her, it shouldn't have existed. I sat in the dark, listening to my house creak, every sound too sharp, too close. I haven't gone back. I won't. But sometimes at night, I hear it, footsteps soft and deliberate, circling outside my window. And I wonder, did I bring something back with me? Or is it always here, waiting? Maybe it's not about the forest. Maybe it's about me. I went looking for peace, but what I found was a mirror, a reflection of something dark inside. Something that sees me, knows me, and won't let go. I wanted solitude. Now, I'm never alone.